Hello, good evening. Uh, well, we are going to be discussing a topic that I don't know, I think it's a little bit new age style, which I mean, it's a law, and just because it's a law of the universe is real. And so it doesn't mean that because it's very fashion and very well known now, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist or it's not real. So I always like to share how I come up with this, with the topic that I discuss every Sunday. And I think I like to share that because it's a very beautiful way how I can, connect myself with intuition and, the wisdom that we all have in our heart. So many days ago, I was thinking about talking about this, the law of attraction and so on. And so the idea was to share things that I think are very, we get entrapped in things that we believe it have to be that way just because we hear about it, and we don't go deeply into the meaning of whatever it is that we are trying to use. So today, I was cleaning up my house and I say, well, sometimes we just spend so much trying to accomplish things and we don't settle down. We try, always we have something, we have a goal. But deeply in our heart, we tend to do that and to be busy because we are kind of afraid to hear what our heart have to say. So we engage ourselves in many activities and many things and, anything that is actually what is causing whatever it is. And so I have been, realizing that actually this, can cause some kind of pain in our life because we don't actually focus on what is listening to our heart. So today I decided to do that, and I am reading this book. So the name is The Law of a Spirit. And this book, among any other laws, they talked about the law of the process. And this law of the process is very beautiful because it talks about a process. It talks about how we create step by step, and we sometimes cannot understand this. So reading this, I say, this is a message. This is what I need to be discussing today. So you see, if you keep watching my videos, I try to always explain at the beginning how I come up with the idea of discussing this specific topic. So there are some just few things here and there that, come into my mind or into my activities every day, and that's how I can kind of decide what I'm going to discuss. So anyway, so what I want to explain about this. So nowadays in all this new age spirituality, this and that, so it is very common to hear about the law of attraction. It doesn't mean it's bad. Nothing is good or bad. It's just something that exists. We cannot deny the existence of this. But what I have been seeing, and I probably did this myself, but I always was curious about this attachment. We tend to create in our life expectation about many things that are pretty much more material than anything else. So we start with a house. We want a house, we want a house. Or we want this kind of partner, husband, wife, whatever it is. And we just focus on that. It doesn't mean it's bad. And we are going to have results because where we put the attention, that's where we are going to be led to. And that's just physics. That's just how the world, the universe works. And so we cannot deny that that is going to be the result, perhaps. Many times that's not the result. Whatever we decide that we want and we think about it and we visualize whatever we want, and we don't end up having that. But that doesn't mean the universe is not working towards whatever we need. But this is the key that I want to explain today. There is a very line difference or line that divides the law of attraction and an ego trip. In other words, when we start, so now and then we see, okay, put in a board everything that you imagine that you want. put this and that. We are creating things that come from our ego. Many times we say, I want to be a mother, I want to have kids. Do you really want to have kids because you have an instinct to be a mother and because you want to love unconditionally, or just because you are 39, 40, or whatever age you are and you feel all your friends have children? So we need to be very careful about what we are asking. Many times we ask things like that. We need to meditate about what we are wishing, because we need to realize if whatever we are wishing is coming from our ego or is something that we deeply wish. So it doesn't mean it's bad that you do this. It doesn't mean that you should not be wishing for things or thinking about, I want this or that. But I believe that perhaps the law of attraction is more useful when we are in a problem. Let's say we don't have enough money, or we lose our job, or there is a family problem or concern that we don't know how to resolve. Perhaps the law of attraction will be more efficient when we cannot find the resolution of the conflict by normal means. So what I mean by this is, for example, I lost my job, or I don't know, some kind of bad situation. We just have to think deeply about what is that we really need, and then wishing from our heart what is that we need to get resolved that issue that probably our mind cannot have a solution in that moment. So perhaps the law of attraction is very useful in those instances when we really need them, and that is more, I would say personally, that's more the use that we want to have. Because when we really engage in things that I want this just because I want it. I want a big house. We all want a big house. We all want to have money. There is nothing wrong with that. But there is a difference. And the more we wish things from our ego, the more we are going to suffer. That's one thing. The second thing, what is that? Sometimes we just focus our life about having material things and even having spiritual things. So if I am in my journey of awakening and I wish deeply just to have nirvana, whatever it is, that's not going to end up in good results, because I'm wishing, and this is just wish. And what is that wish deeply end up? It end up in attachment. So Buddha always say, what is the root of sufferment from humanity? Attachment. And it couldn't be, the best idea that he came up with, because imagine that we wish to have a house or whatever we wish to have, and we get attached with the idea that we want that in that specific moment. What is going to happen? If we don't have that, that's going to cause problems. It's going to make us suffer. And we always have to understand that whatever we are getting at that moment, we like it or no, it could be probably that we are getting exactly what we asked for. It could mean that we are getting something else. It doesn't matter what we are getting, but whatever we are getting, it could be a coincidence that is whatever we are asking for. But whatever we are getting is what we need, no more or less. And it could be in that moment that we are thinking, that's not what I like. I don't really like that. Is what you need. And so the more we develop the way of thinking in this way, the more we are going to be in peace with ourselves, and we are going to be in more detachment of our desires. The more we wish, the more we desire, the more we are going to suffer. It doesn't mean that we don't have, in our mind some imagination and some dreams about, I would like to have this, I would like to have that. Nothing wrong with that. We can always do that. But we cannot get attached to the outcome, because that's what makes us suffer. That's what exactly makes our life miserable. So that is what I want to discuss today about the law of attraction. The law of attraction is nothing wrong with that. It's a law. It exists. It's something we cannot deny. But the problem with that is the way how we are framing that in our life. So another thing is that, with all this attachment that we start developing, the more we wish things, we are not living in the present. And what is the key of happiness? Living moment by moment, moment by moment. The more we live in the present, the more we are going to be happy with ourselves. So let's say, for example, I keep wishing about this big house or the car or whatever, I'm not living in the present. I'm living in the future. Doesn't mean you can imagine that and then, you don't have the right to do it. Yes. But the more we get attached to that dream, we are living in the future because we don't have that. That's going to happen eventually, but it's not happening at this moment. And so we miss the things that are around us. So the key is to imagine, have some goals, some dreams. Don't live in attachment with them. Don't worry about the outcome. And always think that even if the outcome is not what I'm wishing for, it doesn't mean it's not good for me. It has a different meaning. It has a different lesson to be learned in my path. So that's another idea about this. Let's just not think about the results. Let's just think about whatever is come to us is going to be good. And that helps us to live more in the present with more mindfulness in our minds and so on. So it is very, very, very important that when we apply this law of attraction principle to anything, that I recommend that we apply this more to things that we really need. A problem we cannot resolve, feelings that we have that we wish we don't feel them, like for example anger or jealousy. So those kind of things that are really deeply in our heart, our heart is deeply wishing that we get rid of that. It is actually good, and in this sense the law of attraction works in a very positive way, because we are going to be working and we are going to be thinking in a more positive way. And the more positive we think, the more joyful our lives are going to be. So that's a good thing about talking about the law of attraction. It is good, but as long as we do it in a way that is not going to affect us and that we don't get in attachment with the outcome. So increasing the law of attraction in a positive way, how I already explained before, it is actually a good way to develop being more positive and develop some other ways to think that anything that could happen to us, even the things that we don't probably like, are the things that we really deserve to have in our life. So another thing that is very important that I like to discuss, we need to think about that everything that we wish for, everything that we are asking for in our life, the house, the car, whatever, we always have to think about, okay, universe or God or whatever you are asking, whoever you are asking, I need this, but I really wish that this is going to be good for me. In other words, give it to me if it's going to be good for me. But at the end of the day, universe is going to give you whatever is good for you. But at least you get a connection with it, with the idea that you are leading, you are asking or requesting anything through the universe, not from your ego, but from the bottom of your heart. So this is the key about this is that I'm talking, what I'm talking about today. Do not play with this law of attraction from your ego. Do not wish to be a mother because you're just getting old and you want to be a mother, or got a house because you need to have a big house. Those are application of this law against us. We can have it, and we probably will have it because, that's how the universe works. The more you visualize something, you will have it. But if that's going to cause pain to us, maybe we don't need that. So we need to think about this very deeply, and we need to be very conscious about the things that we ask and be mindful about where this desire is coming from. Is from the bottom of my heart, or is just another ego trip? So another good thing about this is that we need to develop, be thankful about even the things that we are not getting right now. So let's say, for example, right now we are wishing for something and we ask for that resolution of the problem or whatever it is. I think it's very important that we say thank you to that we are visualizing in our mind. Even if we don't physically have it, that's a projection of how we want that in a very deeply and in a very thankful way. The more thankful we are, the more we are going to receive that is going to make us really happy, but in a good sense. So another thing is very important. Many times our mind is always talking and telling us how to live and what to do. And so the problem with that is that it's so hard for us to listen to our heart, to listen to what is really the meaning of whatever we are wishing for. And so another good way is walking meditation. For example, when you go outside and walk around the bushes or whatever, or even meditating in your room, you don't have to do the walking meditation. But to me, the walking meditation helped me just to realize where I'm coming from. So remember how I always mention the witness mind. The more you meditate, the more your witness mind is going to be working in your favor. The witness mind is that piece of your mind behind all of the thoughts that you have every 5 seconds or even less, and is able to tell you, see, you are being, I don't know, jealous, or you are being unhappy, or whatever it is. So the more you cultivate that, the more it's going to give you that opportunity deeply in your heart to develop the sense of what is that you're really wishing for and where it's coming from. So let's cultivate that witness mind. And when you have a very strong desire for something, because we always go through that and we all have that, the only way you can accomplish the real meaning of whatever you are trying to accomplish is looking deeply inside you and see where that desire is coming from. That is the most important thing that you can always accomplish. And so this is another very, very important thing. We get very attached with desires. I remember I used to ask for a lot of things before, especially for relationship. I want to have this boyfriend or whatever. I want to enjoy with this guy or whatever. I mean, that was actually what we used to, maybe back in those years when we were teenagers and so. And so we realized that the more, it happened to me in one experience, that I realized that I really want to stop asking for things, because some other people that I really didn't want in my life were getting close to me. So I learned not to ask for that, and I always leave that in the universe hands, God's hands. So when we cultivate this mind, we are actually cultivating something very important, which is the act of surrender. The more we surrender, the more we give up to our desires and we wish for things. Yeah, we could ask that for things, but the more we are very sensible about that and the more we leave things to the universe, the better. Because we can start, having less expectation and having less attachment to the outcome, and we just lead our minds and our souls to believe more in what God has for us than whatever we wish for. So in this sense, the less we try to accomplish things or have things or invoke the law of attraction, the more we are surrendering to the law of God, to whatever God has to give to us. So we are not only working this surrender thing, but we are also learning to co-create, not to be worried that much, because we are not expecting things. And so the key is, what is the balance? There is always a balance. There is always a middle path, as Buddha say. Follow that. So what is the balance? Co-create. The more we co-create, the more we are thinking about the things that we want, but trusting the process, the more we are going to accomplish things in our way. So the book that I mentioned today, that I want to talk, there is a law that the author described, which is the law of process. And that's how I end up saying I need to discuss this today. So the law of process says that when we are wishing something or we are trying to accomplish something, we need to be mindful that there are going to be very little steps that we have to follow. So when you read the story, the guy in the story say, well, everybody knows that. And she explained to him, the lady explaining the laws to him, say, well, everyone know it, but it's so obvious that people overlook to it. And it's true. We all know that to get something done, we have to go through steps. The problem is that we forget those steps. So what is the key? The key is that each step, we have to be able to enjoy each step of the journey. Because actually when we get what we want, sometimes we are not happy. But if we focus in the day-to-day mindfulness and the living now and enjoy the process of how to get to that point, that's the beauty of life. The beauty of life is enjoying every single thing that is coming to us every single day, and that is part of the journey. So the key is, and I want to repeat this one more time, we will learn to surrender, to co-create. In other words, co-creating. We can ask for things, we can wish for things with no attachment, but at the same time we create by having a process that we enjoy and understanding that it's a step by steps. The more we cultivate this, the less we are going to be worried about anything. Why? Because we are going to be detached from any desire, or at least we are not going to be thinking about this very often. So that's the key. The key is to surrender to the universe and give the opportunity to the universe to provide everything that is going to be useful for us. And so it is very important that we understand all of these things, because lately, and this is not by any means to criticize, I always say that I share my experience, and I like to share my experience because I think we can give an example of something just by sharing experience. And I am only just, that spark, that little something, that little light that can probably give you some clues about things, but by any means I'm trying just to force any ideas. But the idea behind all of this is that we live with more joyful experience. The less we wish, the less we get trapped in whatever we want, the more we are going to enjoy. So keep going in your journey. And the most important thing, trust. Even when the things are not getting the best way you wish, even when you are working with all this law of attraction thing and whatever it is, even if those things are leading you to painful situation, always trust that is necessary for you to go through those situations. Nothing is worthless. Nothing. The more we cultivate this way of thinking, the more joyful we are going to live our life, because there are less expectation, because we are trusting. And the more we trust, the more we are going to be able to enjoy. So what I want to say is that, there is a very beautiful process right now in humanity. Everyone is closer to spirituality, or opening their heart to more experience and their hearts. But the thing is that there is a very new age thing about this law of attraction, and that's exactly what I want to share with you. And by any means I'm saying it's bad. What I'm saying is focus your attention and your energy on things that are very useful for you and your soul. Don't waste your time on things that you read, oh, you have to focus on this and repeat this many times, and you need to keep a board and blah, blah. You can do all of those things. All of those things are fun and beautiful, as long as you don't believe that's the key of everything, or that is going to be the resolution of your problem. In other words, don't believe that that's going to be whatever you are wishing is going to be whatever you need to get. That if you don't get it, it causes pain to you. The less we live free of this attachment, the better. And there is a tendency now of all this law of attraction, of video, or how to manipulate and think about this. My personal opinion, I think this is ego. And the less we cultivate our ego, the better for us. So we need to be careful. And we need to not stop, but wish less for things that are more for our material enjoyment and be more mindful about the things that we really wish. I mean, we are free to wish for whatever we want, but for example, what is better for us at the end? Having a more peaceful life or having a big car? We know at the end of the day, having the peaceful life is the best that we can ask for. So we need to balance what we are wishing for and what we are asking for, because at the end, yes, if we wish, we are going to have whatever we wish, but what is exactly we are gaining? Are we gaining something that is going to open our minds, something that is going to open our spiritual heart, or something that is going to actually give us maybe 10 days of satisfaction and then we just forget about it, and then we want something else again? So in my opinion, and this is me, this is just my personal experience, yes, I think about things that I want, yes, and sometimes I say, hey, I wish this and that, but I learn not to be asking for so many things, because universe, God, whatever you want to call it, knows what you want. I know what I want. I deeply know what I want, and what I want, I know it so much because I enjoy it every time I do it. So for example, this that I'm doing right now, sharing with you, having my coaching practice, having my seminars and all of that. I had another job. I had a job which is a full-time job, but I have this and I enjoy this so much that I don't need to be asking for anything else that I wish to get from this that I'm doing with all my heart, because universe knows what I want. And it knows that I don't want this from my ego. I want this because it's from my heart. It's something that I really enjoy. So this is just my very personal opinion. Everyone is very, we're all free to wish the way we want. But I know for sure, because I have experienced that the more we wish for things with attachment, the more painful is going to be the situation. And perhaps, maybe we are not even going to get that. I don't know. Maybe yes, but But anyway, whatever you are getting is the best for you. Maybe life is going to give you that you wish so much, and then you will learn not to be asking with so much ego in between, and just be able to co-create your reality. Wishing things from the bottom of your heart, listening your heart, listening your intuition, calming your mind, and then co-creating with the universe. And how you co-create? Thinking that there is a process, and that each process has step by step, and that you enjoy each step that you are, you are on, until you reach to your final destination. And then your final destination is not going to be another accomplishment, another car, another house. No, it's going to be beautiful, because you're going to have a memory of all the beautiful things that lead you to the last step. And so it's very, very important to have this. I don't know if anyone have any experience about this or anything that want to share. Today I really want to share about this because I think it was very important, and I think the idea of all my topics is, that's just my idea. Cultivate our awareness and our spiritual journey, more than the desires of being someone, having someone, wishing for someone. That's not what I'm here for. So you won't see in my websites or anything like that how to make the money, how to get this and that. There are plenty information about that on the web. So that's why I believe it is important that if you really want to cultivate your consciousness, if you really want to cultivate the journey that you wish for your soul, to get in contact with whatever we know we need to get in contact with, then my recommendation is don't ask for so many things. Trust the process. Ask with your heart. Feel that what is that you really wish and want, and then go from there. And everything will come eventually. Everything. Even the things that you never expect to come. Because the idea is to cultivate our spiritual heart. And the spiritual heart is nothing religion or anything like that. Just opening our heart to more compassion. When we open this heart, everything that we wish for is going to come without asking anything. We don't need to be asking for anything. But, I mean, if you want to, then you can use this law of attraction in those ways that I already explained before. And I think that is for today. And I am really happy to hear any stories here or anything that you want to be sharing with me. I really enjoy that. So to end up, just to wrap up the whole topic, surrender, trust the process, trust the universe. Number one, enjoy your steps, and think that the more you enjoy the journey, the more you are going to be focusing in the journey, the more you are going to be living in the present. That is the key of happiness. No attachment, living in the present. Live in the present. So thank you very much. I have no comments today, but that's okay. I know you guys are enjoying this. I am enjoying this. So if you have any question, please support at thelivebyjoanna.com. You can also check my website, thelivebyjoanna.com. And very, very soon I'm going to be announcing a seminar that I'm going to do. I have been announcing that, but with no details, but it's getting close to give you more details. So you will see that pretty soon. And I hope you can join me in that seminar. It's going to be really nice. So thank you very much. And I will see you, whoever is here that want to listen to this in Spanish, is every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. So you are welcome to watch me there too. And I will be discussing the same topic. Have a good night. Thank you.